Welcome back to another episode of Teachers in Transition, the podcast and the YouTube channel. My name is Kitty Boitnott. I am a heart-centered career transition and job search coach who specializes in working with burnout teachers who are ready for a career change but don't know how or where to begin. If you've listened to this podcast before, you'll know that I alternate topics each week. One week I talk about career transition, and the alternating weeks I talk about stress management for teachers. The reason for that is I am a certified stress management coach in addition to being a trained and experienced career transition coach. This week the topic is stress. And I have noticed an uptick already, even though it's just September, in the number of requests for a handout that I offer, a free giveaway, a document called The 7 Signs of Teacher Burnout. The uptick in requests for that document suggests to me that even though we're just in the middle of September, a lot of teachers are experiencing stress, which is not a surprise given that the teaching profession is subject to one of the highest stress levels of all the professions, probably only second to professions like emergency room nurses and doctors. There's a recent article that came out about how teaching is one of the higher stressed jobs as it compares to other types of jobs, and that isn't a surprise to me either. So if you're interested in the handout that I have to offer, it's free. It's available at my website at teachersintransition.com, and it's called The 7 Signs of Teacher Burnout. I also offer a free ebook on ways to manage those signs of stress. The ebook is called Stressed, Stretched, and Just Plain Overwhelmed, a guide to managing your stress and developing a greater sense of work-life balance. So feel free to download that along with the checklist of the 7 signs of teacher burnout. Here are some of the questions that you might ask yourself if you think you might be the victim of teacher burnout. Do you find yourself dreading going to work, feeling anxious or depressed on Sunday night before Monday morning? That is a key symptom of any kind of burnout, whether you're a teacher or not. If you start to dread on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, getting up and going to work on Monday, you are experiencing burnout. I know from my own experience, I dreaded Monday mornings on some years more than others. The second sign, do you feel stuck and unhappy because you don't see room for advancement or promotion? Some teachers feel that the lack of ability to rise in the profession is a drawback for teachers. Some have decided to answer that problem by going for their administration and supervision endorsement and becoming an administrator, and that works for some, but not all, given how political many of the decisions are in any given district as to who gets selected to be the principal or the assistant principal for any given school. So the lack of mobility is a problem for the teaching profession in general. And if you feel that because it is a limiting feeling for you, that could be a sign of burnout. Sign number 3, do you feel that you have control over your classroom and your curriculum, or do you feel that all of the major decisions are made for you and you must comply or else? In other words, do you feel compelled to teach a subject that you don't think is in the best interest or at grade level for your children? Are you being asked to do something that doesn't feel right for you? And do you feel that if you didn't comply, you'd be held in subordination? because those are usually the consequences of not complying with an order or an expectation. So, do you feel that you have control over your classroom? I would be surprised if you do in this day and age. Sign number 4, do you feel disillusioned because teaching isn't what you thought it would be? You know, so many teachers go into the teaching profession with such high ideals and hopes for making a difference in the lives of their children the way a teacher made a difference for them. And then they begin to feel like they're just beating their heads against a wall and it doesn't make any difference how hard you're working. Nobody seems to appreciate it. In fact, if you're not working 150%, it doesn't seem to be enough. Those are the kinds of things that teachers often complain about. Sign number 5, are you having trouble with sleep because you are worried about finances, your students, or you just have a general sense of overwhelm? You know, teachers have all sorts of things to be worried about, finances being just one. I don't know any teacher who feels like they've hit pay dirt with their salary. Too often the month doesn't last as long, or no, the month lasts longer than your paycheck, and you can't make ends meet. You've got a week to go, and all you've got to feed the kids is peanut butter sandwiches or macaroni and cheese. So if finances are keeping you awake at night, or are you worried about any one of your children at school because you're worried that they're not thriving or that they are in some kind of trouble, or you're just feeling a sense of overwhelm and stress and anxiety all the time, that can be a symptom of burnout. Sign number 6, are you lacking the energy and drive you need in order to be consistently productive and effective on the job? If you've just sort of given up and don't feel like you have any mojo left, that can be a sign that you are suffering from burnout and frankly edging toward depression. So you really need to be very, very careful if you are lacking energy and drive of any major significance. That can be a serious symptom that something else is going on. And finally, sign number 7, are you having physical issues such as headaches, backaches, gastrointestinal issues, or other ailments that go along with stress? If you answer any one of these 7 questions with a yes, chances are that you're experiencing burnout of some sort at some level. And you need to get help, either through the book that I've recommended, the Stretched and Just Plain Overwhelmed ebook that offers some solutions for how you can manage your stress more effectively and proactively, or through counseling or some other method that might help you with your stress. You need to take care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish, especially in the instance of protecting yourself from burnout and the possibility of developing a more serious symptom of burnout, which could be depression and a need for professional help. So if you need this checklist, go to my website at teachersintransition.com. You'll find it there as a free giveaway. I'll also offer a link to the document on the show notes for this week's podcast and YouTube channel. That's it for today. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay well. Take care of yourself. If you're feeling burnout, it's time to do something about it. Make an appointment with me so we can talk about your symptoms and perhaps create a game plan for how you might find a new job that would offer an opportunity for less worry and overwhelm and a greater sense of efficacy in your work. Have a wonderful week, and I'll hope to see you next week.